This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. It's a move that makes tenants think they're getting a deal, but some say leases that include rent discounts are creating a dangerous backdoor, one that often hurts renters more than it helps them. An advocate saying if the government wants to bolster protections for people in the province, that loophole needs to be closed. CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports.
North is filled with memories for Brett Kranick. The neighborhood convenient, close to family, and until last year, very cost-effective when he had to swallow a rent jump he was not expecting.
Last year I saw a net increase of 8.7%. So what happened was the 1.7% mandated by government was taken, but then to offset the remaining increase that they wanted, they drew from the rental discount.
Kranick's rent for his two-bedroom apartment went from $1,104 to $1,200 in 2025. That's after his property manager slashed $72 off the discount he was given the year before. His contract is up in a few months, and he worries the jump could happen again.
I really don't know, and it's hard for me to prepare for other things in life knowing that this potential large looming expenses is going to be lingering over my head.
Manitoba landlords can offer tenants a discount. It lasts during the lease term unless there's a time limit or it's conditioned, like to paying rent on time. Advocate Jay Skettner says sometimes reducing discounts can make rent jump higher than if landlords only applied the annual rent increase allowed for controlled properties.
Tenants really have no recourse in these situations. It's either decide to pay or, pack up and move.
He says tenants also forgo requests out of concerns it can affect their discount. Another advocate says discounts are used to sign tenants who wouldn't otherwise move because of higher prices.
When the market conditions change, it allows them to jack that rent up. And that sort of goes against the whole principle of rent regulation, which is to stabilize the rents. And which is to prevent rent gouging.
But Abram Chirac with the Professional Property Managers Association says discounts are not a loophole, and changes to them are seldom, mostly linked to keeping up with a rising maintenance expenses.
So you are not going above anything the government is allowing. What you're doing is you're catching up on 5 or 10 or 15 years ago when you started that discount, if you remove it.
Manitoba's Public Service Delivery Minister tabled a number of new rules last week meant to expand rent protections, but none of them address rent discounts directly. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
An update now to a story we brought you on Friday, March 13th. Our top story indicated CBC had learned of 2 additional deaths of people who'd given plasma. It was following a CBC I-Team investigation that uncovered 2 deaths here in recent months at a clinic that pays for donations. On Friday, Health Canada said it received reports of 4 total deaths in the last 10 years, including 1 in Quebec. It later said the information was given in error and there was no death related to giving plasma in that province. 1 person has been found dead following a fire in East Kildonan. Fire crews were called to the 1.5-story home in the 300 block of Trent Avenue around 8:20 Monday night. They arrived to heavy smoke and fire. Crews found the victim while searching the house after the fire had been put out. It remains under investigation. A proposal to lower the speed limit in all Winnipeg neighborhoods is moving forward at City Hall, but it's already facing pushback from officials with the province and around the council table. CBC's Cameron McLean has more.
The City of Winnipeg wants to lower the default speed limit in residential neighborhoods from 50 to 40 kilometers an hour. It follows a pilot project that tested lower speeds in several Winnipeg neighborhoods. But before council can even weigh the idea, Mayor Scott Gillingham says the province needs to act.
Any discussion of council prior to knowing whether the province will change the Highway Traffic Act is kind of a bit of a waste of time, frankly.
Under the current law, Winnipeg can lower speed limits, but only by passing bylaws and changing signs on each individual street. The city estimates that would cost between $8 and $10 million.
It would be over $10 million, a sign on every street, which I'm not in favor of in any way.
The city is asking the province to change the Highway Traffic Act so it could set a lower default speed across Winnipeg without replacing thousands of signs. But Premier Wab Kinew has signaled reluctance, saying the city already has the power to make the change.
They have the ability to make this change on their own. And if we as a province act, we would be changing it for every community in Manitoba.
Even at City Hall, there isn't agreement on whether lowering speed limits is the right approach.
My concern with the reduced speed limits is it's really addressing something that isn't a problem.
Councillor Jeff Brawadi says most serious crashes happen on major routes, not residential streets, and argues lowering speed limits won't fix dangerous driving.
It's imprudent drivers, not the speed limit, that is the problem.
Supporters, meanwhile, say lower speeds can reduce the risk of serious injuries and make neighborhoods safer. The proposal moves on to council next week for a final vote. If it passes, the question of whether to allow Winnipeg to set its own speed limits will be in the province's hands. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
We now know the name of one of the victims of last Thursday's double homicide on Boyd Avenue. Winnipeg police say 32-year-old Jason Robert Baker and a 16-year-old boy from Saugeen First Nation both died in hospital. Baker lived in Winnipeg but was a member of Hollow Water First Nation. No arrests have been made so far. The police chief says there's been 9 homicides so far this year and nearly half involved guns. A former Winnipegger showed he has the drive and the putt to be a top-tier pro golfer. One of golf's biggest events, the Players' Championship, wrapped up over the weekend, and Sudarshan Yalamaraju had a standout performance. The rookie developed his love for the game right here in Winnipeg. And as CBC's Mike Arsenault shows you, he learned to play without any formal training.
That shot was okay, but I'm no Sudarshan Yalamaraju. He's the PGA Tour rookie who just tied for 5th at the Players' Championship on March 15th. And he got his start right here in Winnipeg's Golf Dome.
Go Yalamaraju for birdie.
This birdie putt helped vault Yalamaraju into contention on Sunday afternoon. He finished 9 under for the week at TPC Sawgrass, 4 shots back of winner Cam Young. The 24-year-old was born in India and moved to Winnipeg as a preschooler. That's when he started hitting balls with his dad at the Golf Dome. Warren Olson is a regular at the Dome. Over the weekend, he watched Yalamaraju's breakthrough at the Players.
It was just exciting to see a Canadian do so well. His ball striking and putting were just amazing on Saturday and Sunday.
Yalamaraju didn't play college golf and has never taken a professional golfing lesson. He learned how to play and perfected swinging a club by watching YouTube videos of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy.
It blows me away that he actually has done this without a lot of formal training.
Yalamaraju left Winnipeg when he was 11 and moved to Toronto before turning pro at 19. The head coach of Golf Canada's national team worked with Yalamaraju leading up to his PGA debut and was at the Players' Championship.
To be, on the PGA Tour at 24 is incredible. Had a good, really good season on the Corn Ferry Tour last year, and that's how he got his PGA Tour status. And, he works extremely hard. He's got great habits and, really loves the game.
Yalamaraju's finish was the best result at the Players by a rookie since 2013 and the best by a Canadian in 20 years. The executive director of Golf Manitoba says Yalamaraju is proof that even if you get your start on the prairies, you can still play at a high level.
Top 1% of the 1% is where he finds himself. But it gives hope and it gives inspiration for sure for those that look to this as potentially, a career path or something that they aspire to.
Yalamaraju's world ranking was 216 heading into the tournament. Since tying for 5th in the Players, it's now jumped to 145. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, well, Riley, I bet there are a lot of people looking outside wishing that they were somewhere warm to be golfing, but unfortunately not the case right now in Winnipeg.
No, not quite golf season, at least outdoor variety, quite yet. We have seen snow as expected across southern Manitoba throughout the day today. You can see that on satellite and radar. And as we head into the evening, as expected, Winnipeg, we're on the very tail end of this as it pushes east. There is high pressure to the east. which is meeting a bit of resistance with this area of low pressure, this quick clipper that pushed through. So likely by the time this gets to northwestern Ontario, it's a few scattered flurries, if that. There has been blowing snow and reduced visibility. This is a look at the north perimeter. We've seen some of that blowing snow through the afternoon hours, and in comparison at West Hawk Lake, where it's just a mainly cloudy sky, just a little bit of light flurry activity. So as I said, that's going to meet some resistance with that high pressure to the east as it pushes further to the east. In the Red River Valley, at least, and through much of the south, expect a blowing snow overnight tonight. South winds gusting up to 30 at times for the overnight hours. Temperature rises to -7 by the time we get into the morning. We get a bit of clearing, and then the cloud starts to roll back in, Brittany. We do have a risk of some freezing drizzle across parts of the south tomorrow. I'll go into more detail on that in a bit.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Coming up, the NDP government faces questions about why the education portion of your property tax bill is rising. Plus, how the province plans to target predatory pricing practices next. It was the battle over taxes at Manitoba's legislature today. A back and forth between opposite sides in the chamber, both laying blame for higher costs of living and both taking shots. During question period, Manitoba's finance minister stressed the province is funding the education system properly, even as some school trustees say that's not true, so they're raising taxes. CBC's Ian Fraze joins us from the newsroom. And Ian, what is the finance minister saying about school taxes?
He's refusing to admit that some people are paying more in education property taxes, even though you can see the proof in the province's financials. More than $1 billion is being collected this fiscal year. That's up from $764 million the previous year. Now, school divisions say they're raising taxes because provincial funding isn't rising as fast as their costs. Finance Minister Adrian Sala, for his part, says the NDP has increased education funding higher than the rate of inflation for the last 3 years, so he blames the former PC government.
For years, education received significant cuts that created, I think, a big backlog and some challenges across the province, there's no doubt. But finally, we're funding it adequately.
The NDP's answer to rising property taxes has been a tax credit for homeowners. But the PC say the $1,600 credit clearly isn't enough. While in government, the Tories offered everyone a 50% rebate.
They removed the rebate completely and replaced it with, quite frankly, a weaker $1,500, now $1,600 credit that is not even making up for the taxes that Winnipeg families are seeing as these property tax bills begin to come out.
Some divisions have raised their mill rate this year by 8 or 9%. Now, the government has teased next week's budget will help homeowners with their mortgages, but we don't know how.
So, Ian, on a different affordability front, the NDP is targeting grocers that make customers pay different prices for the same item online. So, how can they do that?
If this bill passes, the NDP government is going to ban the practice. Right now, some businesses can charge higher prices based on your personal data. This is a practice that tends to happen online. Finance Minister Adrian Sala says it's happening elsewhere, and he wants to prevent it from happening here.
What we're trying to do is ensure that personal data isn't used to charge you a different price that's being charged from a different customer.
The penalties and how the legislation would be enforced remains unclear at this point. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Ian Fraze. New research suggests more women develop health complications in the weeks following childbirth and more frequently than previously thought. Lauren Pelly looks at the need for better support for new moms.
Paige Eaton thought everything went smoothly when she delivered her son Archie by C-section 3 years ago. But days later, she went back to hospital with an infected wound, which led to life-threatening sepsis and a months-long recovery.
It's just the worst pain you could ever imagine. And the main thing is you feel like you're going to die. That could have been my outcome. And thankfully it wasn't. But for a lot of women, that is their outcome.
New research looking at more than 1 million Ontario deliveries shows more women have close calls than previously thought.
This translates to thousands of different human beings who have experienced these events that we have not been accounting for.
The study found that while more than half the cases of severe maternal morbidity happened during childbirth itself, close to 16% were earlier in pregnancy, and nearly a third happened during the 6 weeks after, a time when many women aren't being monitored as closely.
Making sure that people have access to follow-up care and support during that period is really important.
In Canada, patients are usually discharged from hospital within a few days after childbirth, and not all women have check-ins later on with a family doctor, nurse, or midwife.
And sometimes we focus on the baby more than on mother because the babies might need more attention.
Life-threatening cases linked to pregnancy and childbirth do remain rare, but there is still a long list of possible complications, including severe blood loss, kidney failure, and sepsis. Looking back, Eaton says both her midwife and hospital workers downplayed her early concerns about pain and fever in the days after her son's delivery. Her message now?
Advocate for yourself and get checked.
Since serious issues can arise later than most people think. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
Brandon City Council is dipping a toe into the idea of borrowing $6 million to build a new outdoor aquatic centre. Today, snow covers the one and only outdoor pool in Brandon. It's more than 50 years old. Last summer, it closed for weeks because of mechanical issues and a broken water line. City Council is now weighing options for a new pool. One option is building a brand new aquatic centre on the Keystone Centre grounds. If approved, the design work will finish this year, with construction expected in 2027. Riley back in now, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
I can't wear green because of the green streak.
I know.
So you're making up for us.
Making up for it. I think a lot of people hoping that we get the luck of the Irish and that this weather passes sooner than later.
Yeah, once we get through this snow, Brittany, we actually get into a pocket of warmer air. So that will help warm temperatures at least. We should get some melting, which means things will be sloppy for the next few days. There's the trade-off. Okay, it all has to do with our upper level pattern. So looking at our upper level winds, you can kind of see how the jet stream is really dipping slightly as it gets through Manitoba and down into southern Ontario. And this is the storm track that we're going to see a lot of instability rolling in on as we get through the coming days. So parts of the west coast have been dealing with that atmospheric river event. A lot of rain coming to parts of Vancouver Island and the south and central coast of BC. And as that instability pushes its way eastward, it's going to ride this storm track and bring us a couple of bursts of precipitation, really of all varieties, as we get through the coming days, really right across the southern and central parts of our province as that jet stream kind of ebbs and flows over the next few days here. So looking at Futurecast, here's the remnants of that clipper that pushed through, that brought some of that snow through the later afternoon into the early evening. We start actually under a partly cloudy sky for much of the south as we start the day on Wednesday. You can kind of see where that storm track, where the jet stream kind of cuts through with some of this cloud cover here and some cooler air to the north. Now, as this kind of ebbs and flows as we get through the day on Wednesday, this will bring in some instability as we get through the later part of the day. So late afternoon, early evening, there is the risk that we do see some freezing rain, really anywhere kind of from Roblin down through Portage La Prairie into Winnipeg. I'll give you a bit of a better sense in just a moment. But as some of this instability tracks along that storm track, warmer air to the south, cooler air to the north, that's where we get into the potential for some of that mixed precipitation or some freezing rain, really, as we get through the next couple of days here. I'm not talking any major accumulations on either the rain or snow front. Very quick and fairly localized for the most part in nature, but the risk is there on that dividing line that we do get into some freezing precipitation. So the best likelihood of seeing that as we get through the balance of the work week here, really through parts of the northern Interlake into the Red River Valley and south central parts of the province. I'm not saying this is a foregone conclusion, just letting you know that the recipe is there for some of that instability as we get through the next couple of days here. So tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. We'll get some sunshine early, but there's that risk, like I said, late day of some freezing rain, +1 by the afternoon, +2 into Thursday, maybe a couple of stray showers. And we start spring on a mostly cloudy note, maybe some fog first thing, but temperatures much more spring-like as we head into the weekend.
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
All right, well, there's a look outside. It was a little miserable out there today. That will clear up. We have more ahead when we come back. Stay with us. Israel says it's killed a top Iranian security official in an overnight airstrike. Donald Trump now says the U.S. does not need anyone's help to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Katie Simpson reports from Doha.
Israel says it carried out an airstrike that killed Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani. It had been widely believed that he was involved in running the country ever since Iran's supreme leader was killed at the outset of this conflict. Now, he was heavily involved in the ongoing crackdown on protesters in Iran that started back in late December. Thousands of people killed in the streets. He was also involved in the ongoing nuclear negotiations with the United States. Iran has now confirmed that Larijani is dead in a statement that was read on state television as it continues on with its overall retaliation strategy. Multiple Gulf states had to defend against Iranian missiles and drones, including here in Qatar. There were two separate waves that were launched. One early this morning, loud explosions could be heard, powerful enough to shake some of the buildings in Doha. And a second wave in the early afternoon, again, powerful explosions could be heard in the capital. Iran also continues on with its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which is frustrating U.S. President Donald Trump. He again lashed out at traditional American allies, including members of NATO, angry that they aren't helping try to de-escalate the situation using military force in the Strait of Hormuz. But now he appears to be flip-flopping, saying that, after all, the U.S. doesn't necessarily need any help.
NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
Trump is facing new criticism at home, including from a key member of his national security team. Joe Kent, who served as the National Director of Counterintelligence, he submitted his resignation in a formal letter that he published on social media, saying that he could not in good conscience continue on with his job because of the U.S. and Israeli-led war in Iran. He said that Iran was not an imminent threat to the U.S., and he had to leave his position as a result of this American military action. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Doha.
The United Nations has begun an investigation into the deadly strike on a girls' school in Iran on February 28th.
It's clear to us that whatever happens in respect of such an event, given the innocent lives that have been lost, there is a critical need for such an investigation to be done and for an independent outcome to follow.
Iranian officials say 2 missiles struck the school on the first day of the war. 168 children, mostly girls, are reported to have died in the attack. There's mounting evidence suggesting the U.S. military may have mistakenly hit the school. The Pentagon is also investigating. Trump, who initially blamed Iran, has since avoided answering questions about the incident. A deadly airstrike on a drug rehabilitation hospital in Kabul has killed more than 400 people and wounded about 260 others. That's according to Afghanistan's Taliban government, though it was not possible to independently confirm the number of dead. Rescuers scrambled to help the wounded and recover victims from the debris. Afghanistan is blaming Pakistan for the strike, but Islamabad denies targeting civilian sites. The airstrike marks a dramatic escalation in the latest flare-up in an off-and-on conflict. Islamabad has accused Kabul of providing a safe haven for militants who carry out attacks inside Pakistan. The Taliban rejects the allegation. In Cuba, the entire country's power grid collapsed overnight, plunging more than 10 million people into darkness. Crowds took to the streets of Havana, banging pots and pans to protest the government's handling of the country's ongoing energy crisis. This blackout, just the latest in a series of major outages due to an aging power grid, a situation made worse by the U.S. blockade on oil deliveries from Venezuela. By morning, electricity was restored to much of the island. The RCMP in Nova Scotia have charged an Ontario man with a form of human trafficking known as labor trafficking. They say it's a growing concern across Canada. In the latest case, someone was allegedly threatened and coerced into working excessive hours for little to no pay. Kayla Hounsell has his story.
I was crying sometimes because I don't know who I can trust.
He came to Canada with a dream to learn English. Police say he became a victim of labor trafficking.
I really got scared at that time.
We're not saying his name or showing his face to protect his privacy. He arrived from Japan nearly 2 years ago to study at a language school in Toronto. The school arranged his accommodations in a homestay. That's where he met this man, his host's boyfriend, Trevor Annan.
I was completely trusting him since I got here.
He says Annan told him they should move to Nova Scotia. Annan is now charged with a form of human trafficking known as labor trafficking.
It's not the same thing as just being underpaid.
The RCMP says it becomes criminal when a person is forced to work, deceived into working with a false promise of immigration status, or threatened.
The person says, you're going to do this and you're going to work for this very small amount of money, and if you tell anybody about it, I'm going to have you deported.
This man says he lived and worked with Annan at this campground in southwestern Nova Scotia. Police say he worked excessive hours for nearly a year, and Annan paid him a total of $300.
He said, don't need money. He called me moron, then I'm gonna send you to Japan.
Mr. Annan, do you have any response to the allegations against you?
No comment.
Experts say labor trafficking is a nationwide issue. It's most common in low-wage or seasonal industries. Fishing, farming, construction, food, and hospitality. Industries where we often find temporary foreign workers.
Identified cases are going up. Whether or not it's actually increasing or we're just getting better at detecting it, we're not quite sure.
Labor trafficking calls to the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline have been increasing, reaching 100 calls in 2024. This man has now found a safe place to live.
I want to enjoy this Canadian life. I want to get a chance.
A chance he hopes starts soon with a new job. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Church Point, Nova Scotia.
The latest real estate numbers are out, and they show a Canadian housing market still mostly in a downward slide last month. The CBC's Anis Hadari has the details.
Real estate down by most measures in Canada. The latest numbers show that in February of this year, home sales down compared to the month before. Listings down compared to the month before. And prices also down. The Canadian Real Estate Association's benchmark home price down 4.8%, dropped to a little more than $661,000 over a year's time. While a few cities saw price increases, notably Quebec City, for the most part, the biggest cities and markets in Canada saw their housing markets cool off. Prices declined in British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. While it's often typical that Canada's housing market is slower in the winter months, it's unclear when that may shift.
It's a market that is kind of a slow, very low, few buyers entering the market at this stage, and prices declining. So in our view is that it's probably going to remain this kind of sluggish for the next few months. Maybe latter stages of 2026, we're going to see the market strengthening a little bit, but that's based on some of the uncertainty lifting.
There are a lot of unknowns in the coming months that are likely to affect Canadians' appetite for housing and real estate. War in the Middle East and the potential for inflation from high oil prices, not to mention tension and uncertainty here at home over where Canada's own economy goes as free trade and tariffs are negotiated with the United States. And while the cost to take out a mortgage went down last year, a cut to interest rates isn't expected this month. Anis Hadari, CBC News, Calgary.
A political storm is brewing around former hockey commentator and former NHL coach Don Cherry, and a push by some to award him the Order of Canada. As Kate McKenna shows us, there's strong opposition from others.
For more than 3 decades, Don Cherry's colorful suits and hot takes made Coach's Corner central to Canadian hockey culture.
I'm speaking for the average Canadian that gets up in the morning at 6 o'clock, pays his taxes, and keeps his mouth shut.
Now, at 92 years old, Cherry has become a controversial figure, sparking division over calls for him to be awarded one of the country's top honors.
Love him. Guy's a national icon. Grew up watching him.
I know he said some things that are a little bit off, but it was always pro-Canada.
Federal Conservatives have launched a petition to appoint Cherry to the Order of Canada, pointing to significant contributions to Canadian sport and culture and lauding his candid and unapologetic style. The idea has the backing of Alberta's Premier and Ontario's Premier, Doug Ford.
He's the most patriotic Canadian I've ever seen.
But Quebec Conservative MPs are distancing themselves from their own party's push over comments Cherry made about French Canadians and Quebec nationalism.
They don't want the Canadian flag, but they want our money.
Saying this about the Quebecer chosen to carry the flag at the 1998 Olympics.
And then we pick a French guy on some skiing that nobody knows about. He complains.
Jean-Luc Brassard is a gold medal winner.
His eventual firing came in 2019 over this line about immigrants.
You people love you. They come here, whatever it is. You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple of bucks for a poppy.
A history so fraught, some wonder whether the Conservatives considered Quebec before launching the petition.
It's a bit of a head scratcher. I have a very hard time seeing what the upside is here. You have to understand that, Mr. Cherry is not just famous in Quebec. He's infamous.
It can take years before a nominated person is awarded the Order of Canada, meaning the debate around Cherry's legacy could last a while. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Pothole plagued or deeply damaged? Which roads on your commute need some TLC? Where you can nominate the worst? That's ahead. Potholes are returning to Manitoba's roads, and so is the annual CAA Manitoba Worst Roads campaign. CAA is asking you to identify roads covered in potholes, crumbling curbs, and even badly timed lights. The association says its members have found bad roads are not only annoying, but expensive.
How much are Manitobans paying as a result of poor roads? And the average cost amount is $944, which is up from last year. Now, at a time when family budgets are already a little stretched due to various factors, a $944 hit on the family budget is quite a lot.
The organization says the campaign has been effective. In 2024, after 18th Street in Brandon was named the worst road, the province committed money to fix it. You can register your pick online.
The weather update is brought to you by Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
And Riley, while those potholes are already out there, seeing them, it might be a bit of a challenge before you hit them right now.
No, my street's in rough shape.
Yes, a lot of places.
Yeah, take care out there this evening because of that fresh skiff of snow. It's going to freeze things up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're still seeing some of the blowing snow as well. Take care out there tonight. It's going to be a bit of a slow go. Let's take a look at your dog walking forecast, though, as we go through the middle of the week. And I have one only appropriate for the occasion of St. Patrick's Day. Annie and Teddy all dressed up, ready to maybe do a little bit of partying tonight, maybe. I don't know. Thank you, Krista, for sending this picture in. You can send yours, as always, to talkback@cbc.ca. So early in the day, into the day tomorrow, we're looking at sun and clouds. But as we get through the afternoon and we get into some slightly warmer air, there's the risk through the late afternoon into the early evening of some mixed precipitation in the city and places just outside of, or some freezing rain. So winds will shift around to the north as well as we get through the day tomorrow. That'll put a little bit of a bite in things, although we will get likely some melting as we get into some of those temperatures above the freezing mark in parts of the south. I'll walk you through that in just a moment. Right now in Winnipeg, -9, a south wind 30, gusting to about 44 at the moment. Pressure is falling. The snow has lightened up significantly in the last hour or so downtown, but still, at least here in the city, looking at snow-covered roads and some visibility issues outside of the city as well. And you can already start to see where some of that warmer air is starting to nudge into the province. +3 in Melita right now. Brandon's at -3, Dauphin at -7 at the moment. And that warm air will start to push eastward as we get through the night tonight. So these temperatures, likely the lowest will go. We'll see that rising in the west and really across much of the east as well as we get through the overnight hours. Skies stay mainly cloudy, but there is that risk kind of along the escarpment through the Riding Mountain region that we do see some freezing rain overnight into the early morning hours, and temperatures down to -19 in Thompson overnight, -21 in Gillam. Mostly cloudy skies, some sunny breaks across northern Manitoba as we get a bit of high pressure building into parts of northern Manitoba, up to -2 in the Pas and OCN by the afternoon, -5 in Norway House under a mix of sun and clouds. And in southern Manitoba through the day tomorrow, you can see where Futurecast is depicting that line between more of a snow event to the north and some showers to the south, up to 3 and 4 through Verdun and Melita, but there's that risk of freezing drizzle across parts of southern Manitoba as we get through the day tomorrow, up to 1 degree in the afternoon through the city of Winnipeg and Brittany. Things staying pretty cloudy through the day. We will get a bit of sunshine back as we get toward the end of the week, but things remaining pretty cloudy.
Thanks, Riley. It was a childhood that was marred by drugs, poverty, and gun violence. Memories Kingsley Suchuk is still trying to come to terms with. Now he's sitting down with his mom, diving in to discuss the choices she made that at times landed her in jail and him without her. He's part of a group of filmmaking students in Sisler's Create program, sharing this story.
Hi, my name is Kingsley Suchuk, and this is a glimpse into my story of living Northside with my mom who sold weapons and drugs. We've pretty much lived Northside our whole lives, like a lot of people from Winnipeg, and as a lot of people I know would say, it's not the greatest place to grow up. From moving a lot and being homeless to almost dying sometimes and my mom being arrested, I feel like we suffered a lot as a family, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Despite my family's suffering, I sat down with my mom to document part of our story as a way to look back on how far we've come.
You ready? Chores already. Wow. You're back.
Okay, so I'm Kingsley's mom, Melanie, and I grew up in the north area of the city, also known as North Side or North End. Do anything from tattooing, drawing, hairdressing. I could pretty much do anything anybody else does.
So, what is your opinion on North End since we've lived there a long time?
Now, my opinion on the North End is pretty bad. From the life where I was selling drugs, looking at it, I see the darker side. I think my turning point ultimately was my mom dying. I learned, my mom was a single mom. She did everything herself, right? You know, she did exactly what I did, but she didn't sell drugs. And yeah, she was amazing. She was awesome. If I needed her, you know, she'd always be there, and she always had my back, and it was always kids first, right? And, you know, family comes first, and that's how it was.
Yeah. My mother really took after my grandmother, and losing her was hard on everyone, but it probably affected my mom the most. After Nana passed, I believe my mom lost a piece of herself that took a long time to get back. How did you get into dealing? Why did you get into it?
Because I got tired of working a job for 8 hours a day, sometimes 5 days out of a week. And I'd have very, very short amounts of time with you guys. And when it was you hear that question come out of your kid's mouth, Mom, how come you're not home? It's well, Mom has to work to make money to feed you guys. So
yeah.
If I don't do it, then I guess we'll start, right? You know, that kind of thing. I guess I just thought, like I said, faster money, less time. It's, being a single mom at a younger age, I don't know, I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is taking care of my kids, right? And by any means, I would take care of my children, right? Yeah, so, was the money worth it? No. I lost a lot, and I'm still repairing that from, even 2 years ago, I'm still fixing a lot of things.
Is a weird position to be in as your kid.
It was nice to give you guys whatever you wanted and stuff, but at the same time, I was still taking me away from you. And in the end, I ultimately did take me away from you guys.
I know, you've said a lot before that you did think of us a lot in jail, right? That was, the main thing on your mind.
That's the only thing that kept me going. It's the only thing that still keeps me going, and no matter how hard it is. I decided to settle for the boarding life anytime. My lowest point, knowing that you guys were at home and that I wasn't coming home, that was probably the lowest.
I think that was one of the higher points.
One of the higher points?
Enforced change.
Oh, absolutely.
Before my mom was arrested for the 4th time, life at home was rough. My mom wasn't home a lot since she was out shopping or dealing, and even when she was home, she was often in her room with friends using or selling drugs. I was depressed, lost, and didn't have any goals, and felt alone with my home not really feeling like home. So my mom getting locked up for 2 years was kind of a blessing to me. It was rough at first, but it really gave me the opportunity to find myself again and grow, and I think it would be a similar case for my mother. So what finally made you think that you gotta change? I
realized that we're all getting older. I lost my mom at a young age. I just think there's, my family, you guys at the end of the day need a mom. I brought you into this world, I'm always gonna be here for you regardless of what, whatever happens. I don't care how old you are, how big you are, you're still gonna be my baby. You're my biggest baby of all. I'm okay with struggling and being happy with what I have. I've lived above my means. I've, strived for that on the daily, but where'd that get me?
So why would you want to open up about this now on camera even?
What else have I got left? I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I love you, my boy.
At the end of the day, now that we are in better places, I can look back and think that living Northside wasn't so bad. It's not the safest place to live. My family has suffered a lot living there, but we've also grown in our own ways, and we can now reflect on our past and move on to become better people. I'm proud of my mom for changing, and honestly, I'm glad we grew up there, as I think it brought us closer together in the end.
Well, no matter where you are in the world today, you don't have to be from Ireland to be Irish. Yes, it's St. Patrick's Day, a day to celebrate the Irish culture and, of course, wear something green. In Dublin, organizers say 500,000 people turned out for the annual parade. Now, March 17th was originally a religious holiday marking the death of Ireland's patron saint, but it evolved into a celebration of all things Irish in the 18th century in the U.S. And New York City is home to the oldest and largest parade in the world, featuring about 150,000 participants and 2 million spectators.
Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias. Hoy tengo a una, mañana otra.
And still ahead, Winnipeg's very own Bad Bunny. Why educators from one Winnipeg school are going viral. We'll have more on that ahead.
Me la voy a llevar a todas. Titi me preguntó.
All right, welcome back. So light snow will continue to taper off through the Red River Valley and eastern parts of the province as we get through the night tonight. Still a bit of a gusty wind as we get through the night. That should start to lighten up as we get into the day on Wednesday. So there is that risk as we get into some warmer air tomorrow, some freezing rain later afternoon into the evening for parts of the province, up to +1 in Winnipeg, +2 into Thursday. Again, a chance of a couple of showers late in the afternoon. We're starting spring On a high note, +3 under a mix of sun and clouds, a bit cloudier into Saturday again, and then we start to dip back below the freezing mark as we get into early next week. Maybe a few flurries as we get into the day on Sunday, and temperatures dropping to -2 by the time we get to next Tuesday. Well, Bad Bunny's Supertime Half Bowl show was seen around the world and, of course, had people talking.
His performance was about inclusivity, unity, and being who you are. And a Winnipeg recreation is hoping to do the same and getting a little attention. That's tonight's Daily Lift.
Ey, Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias, hoy tengo a una, mañana otra, ey.
That is a group of educators from Windsor Park Collegiate. The group recreating part of Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance, all part of Spirit Week at the school. And on this day, students and teachers were told to dress up like a celebrity. Of course, it came on the heels of the Super Bowl, and they say it was to the perfect way, to promote love.
We wanted our students to see us be vulnerable and us having joy as well, so that they can follow through for themselves, not just for our Spirit Week, but in our day-to-day practices.
Our school is very diverse. It is really, really diverse, and I think that's an important part of who we are as Windsor Park Collegiate. And it's important. It's really important that our kids see us as people who aren't just there to give them assignments, but also to have a little fun with them.
Now, the video has been shared more than 500,000 times on Instagram since it was posted last week. It took just 2 takes and was done over the lunch hour. So no learning was missed.
I love it. You know, it looks like they had to block off a bit of the hallway there to ensure no students got in.
I love the effort with like the fake trees and all that as well. I wonder where they got those.
And having fun with it.
Exactly.
Well done, well done. We love to see it. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.